Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Wilds set video. In today's video, I'll be going over a new variation of the 3-piece Rey Dau Gamma Armor Mix set that gets actually some really high damage when everything is active. And from the early math, it looks like it has the potential to be even with or even beat out 4-piece GORE with the Xochitl chest in some matchups and for certain weapons. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. So before we jump into the set, let's go ahead and talk about the 3-piece Rey Gamma set bonus called Lord's Soul. What this does is it gives us a little orange bar on our health bar, and if our health is above this orange bar and we take a hit of damage that would otherwise cart us, it allows us to survive with 1 HP. But the side effect of this is before we utilize that one-shot saving ability, we have plus 5% attack from our base weapon and minus 5% defense. And after you use that one-shot saving ability, you lose that plus 5% attack, you gain plus 5% to your defense, and plus 3 to all elemental resistances. Now, from early testing and some reports I've heard from others, it seems that Guts comes secondary, Moxie and your Palico's Vigor Wasp revivability take priority over it, allowing you to essentially get one shot 3 different times in a hunt, or get one shot twice during a hunt if you ate for Moxie, and your Palico has that ability, and still maintain that plus 5% attack. Now, the reason that this is able to compete with and even beat out 4-piece GORE is that 5% raw attack on our Ardian weapons is between 11 and 12 raw attack all of the time, whereas the 4-piece GORE set bonus averages out to about 13 or 14, but is only 10 if you haven't cleared the frenzy and is 15 if you have cleared the frenzy. So overall, they're very close as far as their additive damage, but this set allows us to get significantly more skills overall, which can push it over the top of 4-piece GORE, again in specific matchups and for certain weapons that are able to easily activate latent power. Now, if you saw my video the other day, you'll know that Greatsword and Switch Axe are the recommended weapon types for this style of set, as the Switch Axe Sword Mode Parry and Greatsword Tackles allow you to more fluidly activate latent power earlier by reaching that 130 damage taken threshold. However, if you bring this set into certain matchups where you find yourself getting hit a lot or that just take a decent amount of time, I think the optimal amount of time for this would be between 4.5 to maybe 6 minutes as far as the latent power uptime would go. That way, even if you're not getting hit, after 2 minutes, you'll activate it, get latent power for 2.5 minutes, so you'll have a little bit more than 50% uptime. And what that means is you can just use any weapon you would like with this set. However, if your hunts are very short, like most hunts outside of AT Rey Dau and Xochitl are, Greatsword and Switch Axe are going to be optimal because it allows you to, again, activate latent power a little bit more fluidly within just your normal combat moveset. As far as the armor goes, we're going to be using the Rey Sandhelm Gamma, the Numinous Shroud Beta, the Rey Sand Braces and Sand Coil Gamma, and the Mizutsune Greaves Beta with the Exploiter Charm 2. The top 2 mantles for this set are going to be Corrupted or Rocksteady. Corrupted is better because it'll give you a damage boost, but basically the damage that you take from wearing Corrupted or that you tank through using Rocksteady does count towards that 130 damage taken threshold to activate latent power. But really, the choice is up to you. If you prefer Corrupted or Rocksteady, those are the go-tos for this set. Now, as far as decorations go, whatever you throw in your weapon will be up to you and your personal preference. But in the armor, you'll need 3 Challenger Jewels and 2 Tenderizer Jewels. Super simple. Another thing you could do is if you plan to take this into multiplayer, I would swap out the Mizutsune Beta legs for the Alpha legs. You will lose out on a single level of Weakness Exploit, but you will gain a level 1 slot where you can toss in Shockproof. Again, if you're going to be hunting in multiplayer, you're going to be in 4-player, and that extra little bit of crit from Weakness Exploit 4 versus not getting flinched by having Shockproof is relatively negligible, so I would highly recommend doing that if you're planning to hunt in a party. So as far as skills go, you'll have whatever you have in your weapon, your decorations of choice, but we then have Weakness Exploit and Agitator at level 5, Maximum Might at level 3, Latent Power, Burst, and Evade Extender at level 2, and Stamina Surge at level 1. And if you went for the multiplayer version I stated, you'll have Weakness Exploit 4 and ideally Shockproof 1. You'll also get Peak Performance 1, but it doesn't work super great with this set since you need to take a little bit of damage to ideally activate Latent Power as early in the hunt as you can. We already did go over the set bonuses a little bit, but let me just touch on them again here real quick. Rey Dau's Voltage, with 2 pieces of Rey Dau armor, we get Thunderous Roar 1. This means that Latent Power goes from 2 minutes of uptime to 2.5 minutes of uptime. And then of course Guts Tenacity for that 5% attack boost, which we want to keep up. So trying to avoid one-shots is going to be very, very crucial in ensuring that this set is dealing its optimal damage. So with all things considered, if we are able to activate all of our skills and have very good uptime on Latent Power, this set actually can beat out 4-piece Gore with the Zoshia chest by around 3% ideally. But again, it is extremely reliant on your ability to activate Latent Power and to avoid one-shots. With the Rathian footage that I'm sure you've seen in the background or are seeing in the background right now, the quest lasted barely over 2 minutes. And I was taking a lot of damage to try and activate it. I was allowing myself to get poisoned. I got hit by a charge attack, and I don't think it ever activated during the hunt. So on your shorter hunts, this set is just not going to be as good as 4-piece Gore because you're going to be losing out on that 20% crit from Latent Power. And at that point, if you're going to be rocking less than 100% crit, which this set has, you might as well be using the 4-piece Gore, which gets around 85%. So while this isn't necessarily the new meta for every weapon and every matchup, it does work extremely well in hunts where you're able to have very high Latent Power uptime. Like I said earlier, even if you play relatively clean and you don't take enough damage to activate Latent Power before it automatically activates after 2 minutes in a quest, if your quests are running around 4 to 5 minutes, you're going to have close to 50% uptime, and so this is going to be really strong in those scenarios. But in those weaker hunts where monsters are dying in 2-3 minutes, if you're not taking the damage needed to activate this early, you're going to have really low uptime and you're going to see a much higher benefit out of the 4-piece Gore set. The other option for using this set would be in your much longer fights. So if you take a while to clear AT Rey Dau or Zoshia, taking that 130 damage needed to reactivate the skill will allow you to reactivate it instantly after it wears off. Otherwise, if you don't take that 130 damage, you have to wait 2 minutes again. So it's basically 2 minutes off, 2.5 minutes on. So a little bit more than 50% uptime. But in hunts like Zoshia, where there's a lot of AoE attacks or just stuff that you can get hit by in order to take the damage to reactivate this skill, you could see significantly higher uptime, as those quests tend to run between 8 to even 20 minutes depending on your group or just your solo skill. However, where this set really lacks is the absolute lack of comfort skills or ability to fit in a lot of comfort. I'll be looking to make something with the 3-piece Rey Dau that has a little bit more ability to get in some comfort skills. So definitely keep an eye out on the channel for that. But yeah, while this set does have a lot of potential, there's a lot of pros and cons and little asterisks as to where it will work best, where it won't really work. And I hope it did a good job of explaining that to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. If you found today's video helpful, or if you plan to try out this set for yourself, be sure to drop a like down below and definitely subscribe for more Monster Hunter Wilds content just like this. With that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.